Among Us is an online multiplayer social deduction game developed and published by the American game studio Inner Sloth in 2018, but only starkly rose to prominence in August to September in 2020. In case you're not familiar with the game, here's the basic premise. A bunch of players spawn in a specified map as astronauts charged with the maintenance of their space location. However, among the group, there is a certain number of imposters, 1 to 3, whose goal is to stop this completion and kill all of the crewmates and/or destroy the ship. The deduction element arises from meetings which can be initiated by either finding a body or pressing a button, thus allowing the crewmates to attempt to identify the imposters, whom of course are motivated to lie, deceive, and push blame away from themselves. Within this premise, there are numerous gameplay mechanics that can be adjusted, thus changing the flow of information, settings such as the player's vision of the map or confirming the role of the players upon ejection. This game blew up in popularity, especially on streaming platforms such as YouTube and Twitch, where 10 certified gamers could come together and show off their deduction and deception skills. This allowed for all sorts of creators across different communities to come together and show off their unique gaming prowess and an opportunity for collaboration between them. The game produced a wide range of content for these creators, with people kickstarting their streaming careers through this deduction game or involving it in their content catalog. The statistics back up the Among Us popularity, with TwitchTracker.com suggesting an average viewership of 204k in September, with 3.5k channels streaming it, with peaks to about 700k viewerships. It also marked its place within internet culture, with the shape of the crewmate being impossible to miss, and terms such as sus and sussy baka entering the internet vernacular, and it prompted one of the sickest jams of all time. Nobody could say it wasn't popular. It eventually even entered the mainstream, with big man Jimmy Fallon playing alongside key figures of the community such as Saikuno, Valkyrie, and Corpse alongside the cast of Stranger Things. However, when discussing the game and its prominent rise, it's important to consider that the gameplay wasn't the entire appeal. Sure, the gameplay during the game's peak was an extremely important factor. As the games developed into high-pressure situations, it led to high levels of excitement and hype, watching the deception and deduction take place. The experience of watching these games through a specific perspective and either feeling the victory as you see the streamer win, or the frustration of watching them flounder, it was fun. It was a kind of gameplay that after watching it made you want to get the game and try it for yourself, to try and implement these 10 billion IQ strategies and feel the rush of not only watching someone else win, but to do it yourself. However, compared to streamed lobbies of these content creators, in my experience, public lobbies present a completely different version of gameplay. Public lobbies are a gamble. You can find a bunch of fellow reasonable gamers and end up playing with them for 5 hours straight until it's 4 a.m. and your sleep schedule is ruined. Or you can be accused randomly with no evidence, and as a collective, the entire lobby will vote for you. Also, if you're too good at the game and catch the imposter, if they happen to be the host, they will ban you from the lobby. Similarly, if you suck at the game and don't catch the imposter, you will also get banned by the host. A prominent feature of an Among Us public lobby is the fate that most online multiplayer games experience in becoming a dating site for preteens and for anime role-playing sessions, sometimes a mixture of both. There's nothing wrong with this in the public experience, but the tendency to lack critical or even rational thinking skills makes it difficult to implement some of the strategies used on stream. And although the gameplay presented in these private lobbies did not match up with the public experience, it still didn't last. Due to the sheer number of games played by these groups of creators, they had started to learn each other's playstyles and become increasingly familiar with each other's tones of voice, their tells when lying, which made the competitiveness aspect dwindle, as people naturally resorted to metagaming, where the manner in which imposters were identified had nothing to do with the game itself. This gameplay issue was attempted to be solved with numerous lobbies implementing modifiers or mods to the game, such as the Town of Us mod, which introduced new roles with each of their own win conditions. One of these roles being the Jester, a neutral role which would win the game if they were voted off during meetings, or the Lovers, 2 players who could be crew or crew imposter, trying to survive until the very end. Along with different modifications of both crewmates and imposters, the gameplay was made more challenging and thus revitalized, but at the cost of further alienating their gameplay from the public experience of it. The gameplay with the inclusion of these roles also eventually dwindled, as the challenge and competitiveness that had initially spurred the game began to stale, as the issue of knowing your enemy too well made it boring. with two key lobby hosts, it's Hafu and Disguised Toast, of the morning and evening lobby respectively, eventually both leaving the game due to losing interest and passion for the game, suggesting the end of Among Us. Other videos have covered this idea, suggesting that the lack of ability to progress and showcase the skill in Among Us, along with the lack of updates from the game, had made it difficult for streamers to continue to enjoy the gameplay. And aspects such as the Among Us Quip chat update has made it difficult to play in public lobbies anymore. Overall, the gameplay has been on a downward trend. Yet, as I mentioned, I don't think that the gameplay was the sole appeal or the charm of Among Us. I think that the community in the public lobby made it so enticing. To have a chance to roleplay as My Hero Academia characters if you so wish, or to have fun with strangers online with everyone eventually choosing egg-themed names in solidarity, or even ending up watching a heart-wrenching Final 3 that has no right to be as emotional as it is. I also think that this was the case for watching the streamer. It was not only the competitive nature, but also the complementing each other's plays after a game. It was seeing Ryan Higa, who you have watched since the dawn of YouTube, playing with one of the founding fathers of Sugar Pine 7. It was the unexpected and fun collaborations between people that, in my opinion, kept people coming back for more. Among Us offered a setting, a situation for these streaming personalities to interact with one another. In that sense, as a game, Among Us was the perfect sitcom for streaming. Like sitcoms, we don't continue to watch for the in-depth depictions of a paper supply company, a political institution, a community college, or a police precinct. Although they do crop up on occasion, we watch it for the characters, their dynamics, and the inside jokes. We watch them stream on a regular basis like we do tune into a television show. We see this foundational social aspect heightened with the use of mods such as proximity chat, where all of the usual rules of the game are thrown out the window for some shits and giggles. To showcase this, an example is the morning lobbies, also colloquially called the Hafu or Krufu lobbies, after its organizer, veteran gamer It's Hafu. Although there are other lobbies on the platform, this is the one that I personally have watched the most and can thus have the most concrete opinion on. But I'm positive that this notion applies to most, if not all, lobbies. There's a main cast of Hafu, 5UP, Dakota, Steven Subdeck, and a large regular cast including creators such as X Chocobars, Plushies, Smager, Dumdog, Ifa, Koji, Elam, Annie Fuchsia, and an even larger recurring cast of a whole network of creators. Based on hours of playing the game together, they have developed a wide range of inside jokes and knowledge of one another's personalities, which allows a unique experience for each new game of Among Us to be referenced back to or rehashed in interesting ways. It also allows for some memorable moments, such as DK picking up on Hafu's imposter tale of stretching, or the entire's lobby mutual decision to change themselves into C-based versions. I could go on, but some of the moments are based on hours of consuming these creators' content together, and describing them doesn't really do them justice. It's like trying to explain a joke after it happened with someone who's out of the loop, or asking someone to understand the more intricate jokes, such as watching Community Season 3, Episode 4, without watching all of the previous content beforehand. However, another aspect that differentiates the sitcom style of streaming from sitcoms is the role of streaming itself. You see, streaming adds a whole other layer to the sitcom, with the chat being able to become an active part of the joke, part of the humor, rather than passive observers along for the ride. The ability to have autonomy in whose perspective we would like to view, depending on their style of engagement, creates a whole other dimension. Similar to the confessional style of humor of shows like in The Office or Parks and Recreation, we get their further thoughts and comments. And with the style of the platform that is Twitch, we see the creators have the ability to react to each other's moments and even the gameplay involved with their other co-partners or co-creators. It results in some entertaining moments, similarly as if Dwight would have the chance to view and react to Jim's confessionals, which would lead to even more shenaniganery. Is that a word? I don't care. Shenanigans. I also think another really charming feature of the role of streaming is that all of the engagements between the streamers are authentic and genuine. Although in the shows of sitcoms, the actors are fantastic and definitely have their own improvised moments, their relationship as a whole is a result of a talented writing comedy team. And instead, these streamers is genuinely just as a result of the personality improvising on their own. We see their passion and their organization of these lobbies, of playing other games with one another, still as a group, such as in the Valorant Custies, Gartic Phone, or Codenames. Also with smaller dynamics, such as playing Fall Guys, It Takes Two, or other games they enjoy, or Dead by Daylight. Authentic enjoyment of being involved in the group and the passion for the game is contagious. And if 5up's making of a custom map for the game doesn't scream passion, I don't know what does. Being creative and enthusiastic draws viewers like moths to a flame, and these creators deliver time and time again, which means that viewers like myself stick around. I like watching them stream other games and do other things, just as I would enjoy watching Amy Santiago go to a stationery store for 2 hours straight. It's a feeling of companionship and affinity that sitcoms are known for. And from personal experience, it's a similar feeling when watching these content creators play Among Us. Yet, that's another important point to consider. Although the content is similar to sitcoms to the style of comedy, the people involved still are just content creators and thus aren't directly comparable to the fictional characters presented in sitcoms. So, consumption of the sitcom style streams produced by these content creators cannot truly be consumed in the same way as sitcoms themselves. Outbursts from content creators turn into discussions about their character and their psychology. Fallouts or disagreements turn into beef or drama. There is so much more of them that we just don't see, we don't know, and speculating about it and psychoanalyzing them is just reductive. Although I'm sure all of these content creators put some kind of persona for entertainment's sake, that's still a human person. Streaming in general is an extremely new form of entertainment, and I don't think anyone has the answer on the best way to engage for the benefit of both the content creator and the content consumer. To manage this sitcom-esque stream while maintaining the degrees of separation necessary, in my opinion, is the best way to enjoy the content output. When it's there, put in the occasional LMAO or Monka S in the Twitch chat. Sub if you can, and when it's over, go back and do your non-Among Us tasks, or fuck it, go play Among Us. As for the future of Among Us content, like all good sitcoms, I think it must come to its end. Although it doesn't exactly feel like it does, as all of the content creators involved keep evolving with great content and continuously work together. It's the same bittersweet feeling of knowing that it's not the same as it once was. It's the reason why sitcoms tend to stop after 6 seasons in a movie. The sitcom has to end. And as these streamers play other games or when they reunite to play Among Us, it's fun. I hope they continue to do so. But it's also important that all of us let go and try new things and move away from Among Us. I can safely say that although I am sad it's ending, I'm grateful for all the joy and laughter that they have brought already. I'm grateful for all the fan-made stuff about like O's Stretch, and I'm really excited to see what these people do next. I have to say thank you to all of the creators involved in bringing so much to this simple deduction game, and I really hope that they enjoyed playing it as much as I did a viewer watching it. Thanks for watching, folks. Please leave a like if you liked it, comment if you have a comment, and subscribe if you would like to subscribe. This is a very new channel and I'm trying to hit 50 subscribers. That would be great.